Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we're asking the question, is it game over for exfoliation in 2024? On the channel recently, I've been covering some shifting sales trends and regulations and how that impacts certain ingredients and steps in our routine. Most recently, we talked about the declining sales of niacinamide products, which I covered in a separate video, which I'm going to leave a link to up there. Whilst things are always changing in the skincare world, I think the biggest difference is in the exfoliation market. You look to say 3 years ago when most people were exfoliating every single day and using some super high potency options. In 2024 though, there's definitely been a shift to a more gentle approach, and this has been accelerated by changes to legislation too. Well, we're going to talk about it all in today's video and what the future of exfoliation is. So sit back, relax, let's ask, is it game over for exfoliation? Now, before we get into today's video, I would of course love to know how you approach exfoliation in your own skincare routine. I want to do a poll of the Mad About Skin community. So sound off in the comment section and let me know how often you exfoliate and what your go-to product and strength is. I'll of course be sharing my approach later on in the video, but I do really want to hear yours. Whatever your thoughts on exfoliation, if you enjoy this style of video where we do a bit of a deep dive into the industry, look at trends, data, and of course regulation changes, then let me know by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. This is the best way of supporting me as a content creator, because the more likes the video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, love to each and every one of you. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So, exfoliation. I feel as a community, we've been on a little bit of a journey. You know, if I look to my own exfoliation experience, 3 years ago, I was going in some real high potency chemical exfoliators and I was using them far too frequently. I'm not on my own though. I don't think there's a single person out there that can say hand on heart they haven't overdone it with an exfoliator, damaged their skin barrier, and increased sensitivity as a result. I think therefore we've all been on a bit of a collective journey. Over the past 3 years, I think we've evolved our approach to exfoliation, and whether it's a conscious decision or something that's just happened, we now find ourselves opting for more gentle options, lower strengths, and using them less frequently. I'm going to talk in the first section of this video some of the reasons, some of the things that are driving that change. We're then going to come on to some of the changes when it comes to regulation and how that's impacting the exfoliation market. Then at the end, I'm going to share with you my absolute favourite super gentle exfoliators, because I do think, you know, spoiler alert, I still think exfoliation is a key part of your skincare routine, but frequency and choosing the right product really, really matters. And I'm going to explain all of that in the last section of the video. Any product mentioned today will be linked in the description box below for your convenience, and I've also left some timestamps. So if you want to jump to one section of the video over another, those timestamps are there, so be my guest. So let's start out with the trends in exfoliation, looking at the data. Well, to cut a long story short, sales are plummeting. And I mean, really plummeting. In fact, exfoliation is the fastest declining segment in the skincare market, and it's upwards of 40% for certain brands in terms of the loss of sales year on year. This is a huge shift. Normally we would consider a 5 or a 10% decline significant, so upwards of 40% is major, and I think there's quite a few things driving that. There's also been a real shift led by the brands themselves to more gentle exfoliation options. So you're seeing people turning their backs on the 30% glycolic acid options and opting for some of the more gentle ones on the market. One of the few remaining growth segments within exfoliation is actually mandelic acid, the most gentle of all the chemical exfoliators out there. That segment is still growing. So these sales declines are really most profound when it comes to glycolic acid and particularly the higher strength options. We also find that people are using their exfoliators less frequently. Less frequent exfoliation means you get through products at a slower rate, so you're repurchasing them a lot less frequently. That again will naturally see a slowdown in sales. This is definitely something that I've done. I was definitely guilty of exfoliating every single day at one point in my skincare journey, and then I realized A, I didn't need to, B, it was probably doing more harm than good, C, it was wasting a whole lot of product. I now exfoliate once a week. Yeah, you heard that right, just once a week. And so a exfoliation product will last me 6 months, whereas previously it was lasting just 1 month. And that again accounts, I think, for a lot of the slowdown in sales. It's now actually really difficult to find an over-the-counter super high potency exfoliation option because they were selling in such limited quantities that brands said, yeah, economically it's just not viable. So let's switch to what consumers want, a more gentle option, which is why the likes of mandelic acid are still thriving, even though the exfoliation market is shrinking. One other thing that we're definitely seeing when it comes to exfoliation is clearer packaging. Before it was a bit of a wild west out there. Brands were just saying, yeah, it's fine to use this product every single day. Looking at the ordinary glycolic acid toning solution. At one point, this was called the daily toning solution, implied that you need to use it every single day. That was never a good idea, and I think brands like The Ordinary have realised that and actually changed their packaging to encourage people to use it less frequently to make sure that they're getting the best results from the product. This is great, but of course it's going to still lead to a drive down in terms of sales volumes with that less frequent use. It does also seem that regulation has kind of caught up with exfoliation. It was such an explosion as a category in skincare where people all of a sudden, almost overnight, decided that exfoliation was key and we couldn't get enough of it, that it took the regulators a long time to catch up. This is something that we saw at the latter ends of 2023 and coming into 2024, regulators really tightening up on the strengths and the concentrations allowed. In some instances, this has led to countries just outright banning certain products, and I think this is best demonstrated with what at one point was the best-selling exfoliator, The Ordinary Peeling Solution. Now this is super high potency. It was the best-selling exfoliator in 2022. Cut to 2024, this isn't even in the top 20 bestsellers from The Ordinary. Sales have literally fallen off a cliff, and that's as a result of consumer sentiment changing that I've just discussed, but also a lot of countries just outright banning this product. If you look to Canada, Australia, certain Asian countries, and more increasingly here in Europe, countries are tightening their restrictions on what's actually allowed in terms of strength and percentage, and a product of super high strength like this one just isn't allowed. It's been banned for a whole long time in Canada, but more recently that ban extended, like I said, to Australia and certain European countries. So you see this ban being rolled out, and as a result, it's having a significant impact in terms of its sales volumes. Now, of course, this ban doesn't just highlight The Ordinary. The Ordinary is a good example because it was the bestseller at one point. But in a lot of cases, using glycolic over the counter above a strength of 15% just isn't allowed, which means a lot of the former favourites just can't be bought anymore. And I think this is the main reason why The Ordinary have started to introduce some more gentle exfoliation options into their skincare line, because this just wasn't shifting the volumes the way that it used to. So that's the trends, that's what's happening, but what's the future of exfoliation? Is it over? Is it done? Or is there still a place for it in our skincare routine? Well, honestly, I think the latter is true. There is definitely still a place for exfoliation in our skincare routine if done correctly. Exfoliation will increase cellular turnover, help fade hyperpigmentation, manage acne, minimize scarring, and any discoloration that you have. It can be a wonderful addition to your skincare routine, but you have to match it to your individual skin's needs. So for me, I find that I get the very best exfoliation results doing it just once a week. I used to exfoliate every single day, and I almost noticed that my skin was becoming dull and lifeless. If you over exfoliate, it's going to dull the skin down. It can also increase hyperpigmentation because it can trigger an inflammatory response. So being, I think, a little more conservative with our exfoliation isn't a bad thing. Once a week with a gentle exfoliator gets me the glow that I crave and want, and really will work well when it comes to hyperpigmentation. But I would say match the level of exfoliation in terms of strength and how frequently you do it to your individual skin's needs. I would say maximum amount of time that anyone should be exfoliating is twice a week. That's if you've got super resilient skin, not prone to sensitivity, and really have a lot of hyperpigmentation you want to tackle. If that's you, twice a week might work best, but for most of us, once a week, or in some cases less frequently, might just be that holy grail amount that gets you the best results. Remember though, if you're exfoliating less often, there's kind of less margin for error. So you need to choose a real high quality product that's going to deliver in that once a week application and get you the results that you want. So in this section of the video, I want to share with you my personal favorites when it comes to gentle, hyper effective exfoliation that won't break the bank, but it also won't stress out the skin either. So first off, I feel like I've dragged The Ordinary a little bit in this video because I do think they were a bit irresponsible with the way they approached their exfoliation in the past, encouraging people to use their products daily, coming out with a super high potency option, and not really giving a whole lot of detail of how to use it correctly. I've never been the biggest fan of the Ordinary exfoliators, but I do think they've kind of started to put that right with their recent launch. This is the Ordinary Saccharomyces Ferment 30% Milky Toner. This actually contains NAG, which is a super gentle exfoliator that is honestly gentle enough to be used a couple of times a week with no problem at all. I love this product. It's nice to see a super hydrating and gentle option on the market, and I believe this is genuinely applicable for everyone. Even if you've got super sensitive skin, make sure you patch test first, but you should be able to use this a couple of times a week to smooth everything out, fade hyperpigmentation, and get that dose of extra hydration. I love this. It's only been on the market maybe 4 months now, and I'm already on bottle 2. And yeah, my skin drinks it up. There's no sensitivity, tingling, or irritation. And yeah, it really gets to work. So The Ordinary may not have been the good guys in 2022 when it came to exfoliation, but I think they're doing the right thing now, and that is a beautiful product. For those of us that want a little bit more, we want a little more punch, you know, definitely not something super high strength, which I've moved away from, but something that still has a little bit of a kick to it, then I think mandelic acid is probably going to be your best friend. So there are 2 products that I would recommend for gentle mandelic acids that are super, super effective. First up, let's talk about the Stratia AHA Soft Touch Exfoliant. This has a 10% concentration of mandelic acid, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect for getting to grips with hyperpigmentation, smoothing out the skin, and delivering a really great exfoliation. Once a week is all you need with this, but it definitely will deliver results. Super affordable. I love Stratia because they're entirely cruelty-free, as are all the other products mentioned today, but they're also vegan if you're living a vegan or plant-based lifestyle, and they're just a phenomenal skincare brand. This doesn't come in a huge size, but you don't need that. You're going to be using this once a week, so I find that 1 bottle will still last me 3 months, and I think for the price point, that is stunning. One of my absolute favourite mandelic acids, and I would recommend this as a great place to start. For people that are worried maybe they're overdoing it with exfoliation and want to try something different, this is a wonderful option. Now, for those of us that still crave like the ultimate exfoliation, we want those quick wins, we want those next level results, but we still want to do it in a skin kind way, minimizing the risk of sensitivity and irritation, then I have one product that just works to perfection, and it's the Allies of Skin Mandelic Acid Pigment Correcting Night Serum. Now that's a ridiculously long title, but like I said, it is linked in the description box below, as are all the other products. This is so good. This is like next level formulation, and yes, you pay a little bit more for that, but it is so worth it. Still, only once or twice a week, that's all you need to use this, and I would say it is the very best exfoliator, bar none, when it comes to fading hyperpigmentation. That's because it actually combines that 10% concentration of mandelic acid, which is the key ingredient, but you've also got some bakuchiol, you've got some vitamin C in here, you've got a great blend of calming and soothing ingredients, and some botanical pigment correctors too. This packs a punch, and I absolutely love it. Now, the good thing about this one is they do 2 sizes. So if you're interested in it, at the moment they've got a 20% off sale, which brings that price down a little bit, but they have 2 sizes. They have the 30ml and the 8ml. Now, honestly, if you just want to explore this and, you know, see how amazing it could be for your own skin, get the 8ml, which I think is £20, and it'll still last you a couple of months because you're using it once a week, and trust me, the smallest amount will work wonders. If you really want to commit to this for the long haul, then that 30ml will last 3 or 4 months, and is still a phenomenal price point when you consider the formula. Now, the key thing with this one, and what I recommend everyone do, is use this as your entire skincare routine on the one night you use it. So on that once a week application, cleanse the skin, use this because it's got everything else you need in terms of your nightly skincare routine, and then just top it off with a moisturizer and you are done. Because it is so potent with its formulation, you don't want to use too many other actives alongside it, so strip it right back to basics on that night and you will wake up with the freshest look to your skin, that hyperpigmentation that will be fading in front of your eyes, and it is such a great product. Like I say, once or twice a week is all you need with this, but this is actually my go-to current mandelic acid exfoliator. It's so good, and like I say, whilst it's not the cheapest, it packs such a punch, it's worth it every time. If you're on a budget, that Stratia one is phenomenal and will deliver in the long term. If you don't mind spending a little bit more for those quick wins, Allies of Skin will forever have my heart for this particular serum. So there you have it, guys, a rundown of exfoliation Is it over? Absolutely not. But the way that we exfoliate has definitely evolved over time, and I think for the better. We now take a much more skin kind approach. You don't need to be exfoliating every single day. You don't need to be chasing those actives and percentages. Instead, opt for a gentle option. Use it infrequently, and take it from me, based on my own experience, you'll actually get better results. Hopefully by sharing with you my personal favourite exfoliators, it might just give you a little food for thought for your own routine, but I still would love to hear from you guys. Sound off in the comments what you use, the results you get, and how frequently you exfoliate. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.